Alright, so I'm going to tell you where to find the Triforce in Zelda Ocarina of Time, the gold cartridge for the N64. Now, I'm only going to go about and explain why it's only in the gold cartridge. It is only in the gold cartridge. It is not in any of the other cartridges, and I will explain why after I explain where it is, how this works, where to find it in this one. And so, imagine you're making a game. This is your game. This whole piece of paper right here is the limit of the game that you have to build with. Alright, forget the codes, forget this. We're just going to go for this one minute thing. Now imagine that you make a room. Let's say it looks like that. And this is the entrance. Okay? Now let's say it connects with this room. And this is the entrance. And let's put an entrance up here just to throw something out there. Now keep in mind we have a whole series of rooms here, because that is exactly what a flat piece of paper game is. It's just nothing but rooms that are right next to each other that generally are not linked together. But yet when you play the game, you notice that when you swap rooms, it looks smooth and nice. So basically what you're doing is, if you start here and you go this way, you notice that the game blacks out or whites out or has a loading screen. That's because it's actually loading the next room and you end up coming here. So that's why it seems like it transitions normally from point A to point B, and then you go out here and then you end up like anywhere on this map. Even if you went out here and somehow there's a room over here that they forgot, you end up here. That is generally how these types of 3D games work. Now granted, they can work on multiple levels, so you can have this as level 1 and then this as level 2, and that's where the 3D portion of the map comes up. That's how you can have multiple levels of the same floor without any loading, and that's how games like this particularly work. It's just a flat sheet, and all it does is just have a loading screen that goes from here to here to here, and that's why it seems so smooth, is because it's a teleport spot that goes to all of these different locations, and that's how cartridges and game disc will only load that area. And they fixed it over time with like a super overdone world like this, where the game sees it as portions. So if you start leaving this area to go here, it will purposely unload this area, so it'll load this area. And so whenever you go lead from this area to this area, it'll unload that area. That's exactly how these flat maps work. That is exactly how Ocarina of Time works. And this also applies with unused items or storyboard items. Keep that in mind. And so, storyboard items. That's why, whenever someone mentions the black void, that's exactly what all of this is in between all of these maps. All of this is considered as the black void. That's where there's nothing, there's no maps, there's no ground, there's no air, there's no water. These are generally the areas that a player cannot go. This is what's considered as the black area, or the dark void. So that's why you can safely transition all between these rooms, because that's where you're supposed to go, but not there, if that explains everything. And so from here, this black void also includes storyboard items, which includes, you guessed it, the Triforce, the storylines, the overdone movies, which includes the one where, you know, you have the 3 goddesses all flying upward, and then boom, Triforce emblem here. And you know, there's actually sections in the overworld just to flip the camera there, do the queued storyline, and then flip back to where you're supposed to be. That's how Ocarina of Time works. And this also includes other things. Like I said, unused items. We are looking for this, the Triforce. You're not going to attain it. You're going to look at it. So, here's exactly where this is. You have Lake Hylia, which I'm just going to go by memory here. Let's say that's Lake Hylia. I know there's like a little midgey here. And there's water and little islands and things like that. Bridge here, bridge there. You get the idea. That's Lake Hylia. Alright, now right next to Lake Hylia, along this wall, right here, is actually the Shadow Temple, right next to it. Not just any part of the Shadow Temple, but the entrance. So that is generally a circle like this, you know, with all the torches in the middle, like that. And that's where you stand, and that's the exit and all that stuff. So, right here, in the middle of this black void, now granted this should be a little bit further, but I'm running out of paper. Right here is the black void. Now, if you position yourself literally right here, or right here, and you either shimmy yourself from here to go here, or if you get hit by one of those crows, just right in this corner on the Hyrule Lake Hylia, in that direction, you will go through the wall and into a void of water. You're going to swim a little bit into the same direction of where I'm pointing the arrow, because right in this void, you are going to see exactly where they store the Triforce item for the story plots before it's permanently used inside of the Door of Time. So that's one of the tricks that programmers do, is when an item is not in use in a storyline or something like that, they will actually store it where, you know, where it can just easily be recalled, teleported, used, and all that stuff, only to be recalled back to its neutral position. This is the Triforce's neutral position, is right here. And the reason I found out is because through hours of hard work and looking at every single one of those Sheikah stones and everything else, one of them, forgot where because I've lost those notes forever ago, actually tells you the Triforce is right here. And, you know, because it says that there's a secret along this side of the wall on Lake Hylia. Like I said, forgot which one. Could be in Death Mountain, I don't know. Just take that with a grain of salt. But that's where it is. And now I'm only going to tell you why you can only get and see this Triforce only in this gold cartridge. After the later games, whenever an item was not in use, they added one more line of coding. And that one more line of coding was to make an unused item that is not used at that particular time invisible. They did this on purpose because those that were figuring out, you know, the little tricks of how a map was made and all that stuff, they found out that the Triforce was right here. And they were literally breaking their games attempting to go about and collect it, thinking it was a collectible item. And it's not. And it was actually legitimately breaking cartridges. So what they did was they left it there, because obviously it's going to be there. I mean, they could easily relocate it anywhere else, but it wouldn't matter. And they just added one more line of code to where if it was not in use at that particular time, it would be invisible, along with all of the other items that was there. Because I think I remember like a little bottle of magic and rupees, a couple heart pieces, you know, something where the game can duplicate and place it into a map that's not in use. That's like one of its compressed zones. So if that makes sense to you, that is exactly where it is. And hopefully that clears up all of that nonsense of everyone saying, yes, you can see the Triforce. No, it's not a troll. It's legit real. And unfortunately, in all of the years I've continued to play this, I might try to spend hours to break the wall and show you guys. But that is my personal promise that I will attempt to try at it. Especially because now I actually own the Game Shark. I don't know if it works, you know, with this, considering how advanced that Ocarina of Time is, but I'm going to give it a shot. And that's exactly where it is. So if you can break your game to the point to where you can break through these walls, you will see the Triforce, but only in the gold cart. So hopefully that explains everything. I'll see y'all next time. In the moment certain, tomorrow is uncertain, and happy hunting. Happy hunting for the Triforce.